Welcome to the RedCap overview video for nurse educators on how to create a RedCap. First, you'll go to New Project and create a project title. Purpose of the project, typically quality improvement or operational support, and create a project. All right, so most of the projects that we do as educators have to do with surveys. So you want to go ahead and enable surveys before you even start. Okay, once you've done that, you're ready to go to Online Designer. Once you get to Online Designer, you'll want to go ahead and enable your survey and create your title. If you want your users to have instructions for the survey, you can complete them here. If you don't know what exactly your instructions are going to be yet, that's fine too. You can come back to this at any time. You can also add a logo, say the VUMC logo or the children's logo. You can get those from the graphic design department a lot of times, and then you can upload it here. Standard radios and checkboxes are the typical ones that you see that have just little circles. You can do enhanced radios and checkboxes, which have bigger ones. They do the same function. Sometimes the standard one is a little bit more clean, and it's not going to show us that one apparently, but I'll show you in a minute. Sometimes that's a little more clean and makes the survey less cluttered than the big enhanced ones. It's up to you. So I usually leave the survey text the same and the font the same. Occasionally I've saved some survey themes so that I can have the Vanderbilt colors or some different blue settings. You're welcome to leave it normal, or you can customize it as you wish. I typically leave the question numbering to auto-numbered. It just makes things easier, and then I don't number questions. If you get involved with some more complex surveys, like including matrix and things like that, you may want to turn this off and do custom numbered instead. It just depends on how you're formatting your survey, and we'll get into stuff like that later. If you want your participants to be able to have a copy of the survey, you can click yes here. Most of the surveys that I'm going to go over, they don't really need that. I always also leave the required fields display the red must provide value text. That way it's just super clear to them what is absolutely required, because that comes up and they don't have a question there. If your survey is like our orientation checklist and you want to submit a partial response to then come back and complete it later, you want to select yes on this. For this example, I'm not going to do it, but we'll get into more of that in the video that I do about the orientation survey. If you want to customize your text for after they're done, you can. It just defaults to this, thank you for taking the survey, have a nice day. A lot of the times it's fine to just leave that. And that's it for our purposes here. So we're going to go ahead and hit save. For whatever reason, it makes you rename the survey several different ways. So here you're going to want to hit choose action and rename. And we're going to go ahead and rename it here too. Okay. Once you've done that, you're ready to start editing. Just click on the thing, and this one is completely blank, and you're ready to add fields. So a field is just what you're going to click on to actually have the information or the questions or whatever content you're wanting to put in the survey. So the different field types. Here's a text box, a note box, multiple choice, check boxes, yes, no, true, false, signature, and descriptive text. Those are the ones that you use the most. I'll go over those more in detail in a different video, but for this one, I'm just going to add a couple of things. So when you create an actual field, you're going to want to put your text in this bigger box. You always have to give it some kind of variable name. This is when you get into more complicated things like branching logic is when you use the variables. It doesn't matter what it is as long as you can remember it. I typically try to categorize questions into one word, really easy things, and then put a 1, a 2, a 3 after it, so it's easy for me to build branching logic if I'm going to use that. Again, that's a more complicated thing that we'll go over later, but for now, I'll just show you. I usually do something like this. And then choose whether or not it's required. Choose whether or not you have a validation, so like a date or entering in an email or a phone or something like that. That's what validation means within RedCap. If you want to have some kind of instructions to the user on what they need to put in right there, you can add it in this field notes section. So, okay, so that's what just a blank test field looks like, and you're going to want to just continue to add different fields until your project is complete. So join me for my next video about our projects and how you can customize them further.